You are listening to Arts on the Air, a bi-weekly-ish interview show dedicated to Savannah, Georgia's artists, musicians, and authors. Each episode will feature a guest in conversation about their philosophy, practice, and current projects, as well as their thoughts on the state of the arts in our community. Our theme music is a clip by Jose Ray, made specifically for our show. Hey everyone, this is Kate Stanton Melendez. I had the pleasure of sitting down with Jeanette McCune, the executive director of Cleo the Project Space, a 501c3 nonprofit arts organization, which is located at 915 B Montgomery St here in downtown Savannah, Georgia. The space is open on Saturdays from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. or by appointment. Their next exhibition, Survey to a Sweet Reminder, features Camille Wong and Adkinson, and it opens next Saturday, October 18th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. held at Cleo. The artist talk starts at 7 p.m. Their fall fundraiser takes place on Sunday, November 9th on the front lawn of Laney Contemporary from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Tickets are limited and available now. All right, so Rob Hessler and Dave Laughlin's opening question was always, who are you? Mm-hmm. And how did I get in here?
Okay. So we're recording. Okay.
It's been on for minutes.
Oh, amazing.
No, everybody panics if I just say I'm going to hit the button and then we're not just making, you lose the first several minutes anyway.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. So who am I and how did I get here?
How did I get in here?
Oh, how did you get in here? Amazing. Okay. So I am Jeanette McCune. I am the director of the nonprofit art space Cleo the Project Space. We are a 501c3 that hosts 5 exhibitions a year featuring primarily emerging artists. We support those artists through honorarium, shipping reimbursement, travel reimbursement, and lodging for a couple of days to come down and talk to our community for free about the work that they're presenting. So that's in a nutshell. And then, Kate, you came in here because you are a fellow gallerist and interested to kind of see what other of us are doing in this small city, small kind of community, and how we're kind of making it work and how I'm sustaining my mission. I think you've had a lot of really important questions about that. But just at a base level, you're just interested in art and want to see good art in your community. So, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So 5-year anniversary is this month.
Yes.
I'm so excited for your party. And that's in a couple weeks. That's not till November though.
That'll be November 9th. It's going to be, our 5-year anniversary party / fall fundraiser. And it's going to be at Susan Laney. It's going to be at Laney Contemporary Gallery. And it's going to be on the front lawn. And we're going to have a low country boil. Thank you, Parker Stewart, for bringing that low country boil. Plus refreshments, a crafts table for adults and kiddos. Some food for kiddos, as well as Tori Tinsley is going to be up in the gallery for people to look at. And then finally, an auction. So small auction.
Mm-hmm. I missed the auction part.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to do, it's going to be small. We're going to do I think 5 or 6 items. And it's mostly stuff that is personal with Cleo that I can easily kind of facilitate. So example, one of the auction prizes is having a consultation with me about your collection or about your portfolio. Another one I'm really excited about is getting drinks with visiting artists ahead of their opening. And
Cute.
So just making sure that you can have your one-on-one time with visiting artists that you are interested in their work. So those are 2 really good ones. Stay tuned for the other ones. I want to keep them surprise.
Yeah. No, don't give away too much information.
I'm teasing a little bit. Yeah.
Tickets are live on the website.
And
you can make donations too. If you can't miss it, or you can't make it rather, and
yes.
if you're forced to miss it, you can still
funnel money. Yes, this is our big push of the year. It's our final big push right before we end off on a strong note. And so we're just asking for all hands on deck. If you're able to come, it's going to be so much fun. If you're not able to come, chuck some money our way. If you love us, if you love our programming, show us some love with a donation for sure, please.
How did you get Parker Stewart to do a seafood boil? He's a photographer.
Yes. So his side project is Low Country Boil. So he doesn't do it often. It's like mostly for friends, but he does have a business card, and the business card is hilarious. It's like a little shrimp driving a little truck. So I don't know if he brings those to...
Wait, that's really cute. What?
And the first time I had his Low Country Boils, there's a party in March that happens around St. Patrick's Day that I don't know, like people know about. It's like a big group of people get together at a friend's house, like that has a dock off the water, and they do a huge Low Country Boil, and people burn Christmas trees.
They burn Christmas trees?
So like everybody saves their Christmas tree, like brings it to this party, and at the end of the night, because everybody's been drinking all night, we'll just chuck them in like heathens to kind of end that season and start the new one. But Low Country Boil, delicious at that party. And yeah, I was like, well, we might as well call up our buddy. So we're friends because through his wife and partner Anna Autumn, because we've shown her work before at Cleo, reached out to her initially just to talk about the work and do an artist talk. And she's like the most wonderful human being, and is just like an incredible photographer. And so we kind of developed a relationship where, a friendship, but also like I've shown her work a couple of times. And then Parker just comes along with that because he's just like a big old ham, and he just like wants to, love on people and just be a part of, everybody's world and friends with everybody. So it's been nice. Yeah.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
How did you end up at Laney for the party?
Laney has been, me and her relationship has been really incredible as of late because she's been, maybe mentor is the right word, I'm not sure. It's really difficult to be a woman in this industry. And especially in this industry, like trying to sell work at fairs because Savannah's community only buys so much, and and championing artists of all ages, and because Susan does that so well, and it was a conversation that we had been having conversations about like me reaching out and needing some advice, and her being like this incredibly welcoming person who comes in and gives it to you incredibly dry. If you don't know Susan, she talks like this, dry, like very dry.
Direct.
But she's so funny, and she's so like lovable, and she just like has been really like helpful in that regard of kind of like when I've stalled a bit, come to her and just been like, I'm stalling, and she's like, let's drink and chat about like how we can start this up again. And so our relationship had developed like that, and then I snuck in that I was looking for a place to do the fall fundraiser, and I was like, well, and like she had like offhandedly, this is how nonprofit works in a nutshell, is when people offhandedly like offer something, you clock it and you come back and you ask for it. You don't just let it stay there, because if you do, then you waste an opportunity, and we need all the opportunities we can to stay alive here. And so Susan had been like, well, if I can do anything for you, just let me know. And I was like, yeah, I do have something.
You have a front yard. I do not.
And I do have like an adage to share that I was just talking about the other day, is that so Susan has the co-director is Sarah Cherry, and Sarah's amazing. She's so loving and wonderful. But she was kind of the grown-up in the room, because we were talking about like me and Susan were like getting really excited to like have a full out like party on the lawn. And I mean, we still will, but like we were talking like water slide for the children, water slide and like blow up things and stuff. And Sarah, like we like giddily like run up to Sarah and we're like, can we do this? And Sarah's like, no.
That's so
She's
interesting.
we don't need little wet footprints running through the gallery to use the bathroom, like she had to be like the one to be like, hey. But that was on the table at one point. It was like a full water party.
Next time, let's put that on the back burner because the idea is amazing. And I love that. I think you and Laney seem very comparable. You're like very set, like, how do I mean, you and I have only met a couple times, but like I'm very unserious.
Yeah. Same here. Yeah.
But you have like an air of like confidence and like authority, like comparable to what Laney has. Like you guys are both fun, but in like a very professional way that like I entirely lack. So I love that like you cracked for just a second and we're thinking about blow up slides because that's a me move.
Yeah,
I did not expect that from you or from her.
Yeah. I mean, like, it definitely, I don't know, like and I was talking about this with somebody else the other day too, is like that type A, type B mentality, like that people have to choose one over the other. There's like this incredible amount of precision that I put in my curation and the way that I talk about the work, and the way that I, present the work. But I also am like, I love a good bit. I love cursing. I love casual settings where people can, say whatever they want to say and be really funny. I love comedy, so that's definitely not something. And like playfulness. Like we have kiddos in the space all the time, and we have stuff for them to do. We had a artist talk last time where my beautiful board director, Kate Hadley talked to us, had brought her 2 kids, and they're amazing. And one of them was interrupting our artist talk to show me all the drawings she'd done. And it was like a room full of people. And she's like, hey, Jeanette, look. So we had to pause for like effect. Like I had to be like, okay, let's all look.
Comes with the territory. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
So,
all right. So how do you pick people to go in this space? Because it's not something you can just submit to for the 5 shows you have a year.
Yeah. So it's very much my curation. So, and I say that with a grain of salt. So we do, as a nonprofit, we do keep the months of May and December open for community partners and short-term shows. And so those are a lot more flexible. Like I think you'll see, especially in May, that rain. In May of next year, you'll see us partner with Loop It Up to do a kids show, which is very not like Cleo centric, but I'm very excited for it. Like that'll be very fun. But the 5 major shows we do a year is definitely through my curation. And I find them through a handful of outlets. Social media is incredible. Please use it, artists. Use it and refine it and make it your own. And then like art fairs, especially like spring break, I've gotten a lot of amazing artists to show with me through that. Another one is other galleries that I love that have been showing artists that I love. That's always a good option, because then you can also call up the gallerist that you already know and be like, was this a success? Or like, did they have an ego? What was the ego like? Is it doable?
That is important. Yep.
Yeah. And then through word of mouth, friends. Sulphur's residency program has been really amazing because I feel like getting that personal one-on-one time with artists has been really helpful. And we might, like teaser, we might show some artists from there coming up. Which, yeah, I mean, so it's a lot of like, so if I'm coming at it from the angle of like an artist who wants to show in the space and they're asking me, how do you do that? Don't call me up, please, out of the blue and ask for a show. It happens all the time.
It's not so awkward.
It's not gonna work. I'm so sorry. No, you need to develop a relationship with me. This is my lifeblood. This is like, I put everything into this, and there's a respect that I do definitely ask for. And it means that you're interacting with my shows. You're coming to my shows. If you can't come to my shows, then you're talking to me about my shows from afar. And you're doing that because you can see your work here, right? Mm-hmm. But also, it's like that you want to continue kind of in that legacy that Cleo's built, or that I built for Cleo. So that's really important for artists to note, that is building those relationships and showing up and, admiring the spaces that you have, because we do it for, there's no money in this. It's all for the love of it. And it's a really, really hard gig. And so, and we do it for the community. So the community needs to, come through and show us some love, for sure, for us to keep going.
How did you pivot to a nonprofit? This started as like a more formal gallery space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we were for-profit for the first 3 years. And we were in much smaller spaces. We weren't selling a whole lot of work. Savannah is a very small community where there's not a whole lot of collectors. And then we didn't really have the funds to get out to go to art fairs and stuff to start spreading that network. So there's a couple different things, right? So it's the sustainability of it. So we show primarily emerging artists, which don't sell well in the market. There's also the aspect of I never wanted the space to have to be dictated by market value. And so, which is not to say that there's anything again, I'll reference Susan. I think she does an incredible job of straddling that line of giving her artists the freedom to create, but also being very pragmatic and being this is how we get to sell this, But for me, it was always just I want to do video work. I want to do sound pieces. I want to do full installations. I want to do research projects that are centric to a certain area that maybe, none of this sells. None of this sells on a market. And certainly none of it sells on a Savannah market. And so we switched because we wanted to make sure that we had an additional stream of income to make sure that we could still support our artists full out through their exhibitions. And and so that was the pivot. And so far it was the right move. We've definitely brought in a lot more income that way because we were able to do it like that, and have, the benefit of donors who don't, aren't collecting but do want to support us come in and help. So yeah.
What shows are coming up next that you can share with us?
So immediately it's going to be on the 18th. It's Camille Wong and Alex Adkinson. And this one's very, very special because they came here in May, both of them, for 4 or 5 days and did a research trip. It was the first of its kind that we've done with Cleo, where we brought them out, we put them up, and they were able to kind of choose which section of the city they wanted to focus on. So Camille is video. She does video work, and she had arranged it, or we both collaborated on arranging a series of interviews with residents. So people that had been here, born and bred here, historians. We had a director of the Davenport, Danielle Hodes, who's amazing, come and talk to Camille, and we recorded them walking around the squares downtown talking about ideal city planning, and not in such a sterile way. It definitely fluctuated from obviously interview to interview. But she had done so much research on the fact that this iconic grid system of Savannah was a tactic. That was something that when the city was built, it was during, war times. During war times. We're still in war times.
We've escaped nothing.
We're always in war times. But yeah, so trying to kind of figure out how connections get built within that iconic grid system, and having so much green space, and So she asked a lot of really important questions, and she's bringing that documentary of series of 6 interviews to the gallery space. And then Camille is Los Angeles based right now and had never been to Savannah. So we're really excited for that. She like very much puts herself in as tourist and voyeur, like observer, not really voyeur, but observer of the city.
Love that.
Yes. So, and then Alex is from Chicago, and he decided to focus on the sugar refinery. And so if people don't know the sugar refinery.
We have a sugar refinery?
We have a sugar refinery.
What?
It's owned by U.S. Sugar, which is the largest manufacturer of sugar in the U.S., which means we have a global impact because we have one of their largest refineries here in the city of Savannah. And it is notorious because in 2008, a dust explosion and fire broke out, killed 12 people and injured like a dozen more. And it was just because sugar refining is not as it seems. I mean, not that it would be like who thinks about it, but like it's actually very dangerous to do. And there were a lot of like protocols that had to be put in place after that, because that was something that was so intense and ways of like being like, this should have never happened. And people were being not reckless, but maybe not so considerate to the lives of the workers. And so I think that there's like this incredible piece of Alex's work in general where he researches, industrial landscapes and how the body, the city, and the earth kind of all connect with one another. And I think that it's not lost on any of us that the irony of like this sugar refining, and it's for, mass consumption, and it's this kind of thing that is like, I don't want to say like an addiction, but like this something that thrills so many Americans to like have sugar in their products, is incredibly dangerous to manufacture, and but also is like incredibly impactful to our economy. Like I just think that all of the threads that you pull are like incredibly interesting. So Alex, and then this is an adage that we'll talk about probably we do an artist talk on opening night, so please come.
Everybody be there.
Yeah, free artist talk, and they'll both be here. Alex, when he was here for his research trip, he was a little bit ignorance is bliss, walked in and was like, well, just like ask for a tour or whatever. And so he like takes himself over there. He takes some, photos and everything, and starts like walking up to the front door. This is what I imagine, at least, because he came back and told me, he was like, yeah, I asked, and they were like, absolutely no way. They're like, you can't come in here. And so it was like this like kind of weird, like he like collected some testimony from people that worked there, but it was outside of the fact that he was not able to step inside. And it was like that he could have gotten like, apparently he could have gotten a tour, but he had to ask the right people at the right time kind of thing.
Weird.
And so it was like this like weird, like, what do you call it? Like, I don't know, like kind of shut down secret ops. Like some sort of like you have to know somebody who knows somebody. Like Uncle Billy knows, whatever, the, general manager, and can let you in after dark if you bring a cute girl or something.
They saw his camera and they were like, no.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's, I can totally imagine it's got something to do with what happened in 2008.
Well, yeah, but also if it's dangerous, you can't just have randos running around your floor.
Sure. But it is crazy. This reminds me of, so I lived in Baltimore and I was a student there, and we had a tour of, so Baltimore, I think it still does do this. It burns about 85% of its trash.
Ooh.
And so, yep. And so we've got this beautiful sunset every day.
Ew.
And we took a tour as a class, like
of the trash burner.
Yeah.
Ew.
And it was literally like the giant claw machine coming in and like picking it up and plopping it in the incinerator. And yeah, and one of us, of course, had asked what was the grossest thing that had ever been burned. And apparently in the 80s they tried to burn a whale, and
Ew.
the whole city like stunk.
Wait.
This is the human race, guys. We're all just like, ooh, what if we do this?
Burned a whale. Who designed this as a children's...
Little boys just being like, let's just do this.
Let's see what happens. Huh. Not my idea of a school tour. Did you become like an excellent...
Well, this was in university. This wasn't me being because that would have been... I couldn't imagine that they wouldn't do it with kids. And
I'm imagining you
become obsessed.
No, I'm thinking you're like 9.
Yeah,
and they're just dead whales out back.
No, we're old enough to know better, but we're just like sitting there being like, but what? Like, what's the coolest thing you've ever read?
All right. So what was the result of Alex's project?
Yeah, sure. Let's circle back. Let's definitely circle back. So it was a lot of like personal research that he did. And so what he's presenting is sculpture work. And so he's got some photos that he's kind of embedding in this like raw industrial like metal fab that he does, or that he's been kind of gearing towards in the last like year or so. And they're super lovely, very beautiful, but I want you guys to see it for sure. I think that in terms of like, well, and I really do want my community to come out and talk to these artists, because they've spent this research of this past X amount of months researching these two really important parts of our city that kind of oft get overlooked, or just questions that should have been asked, or should have been, who am I to say, could have been asked, and are being asked, to kind of better understand our city. And so definitely we'll ask them all of those questions.
All right, pitch that opening date again, where they're here.
Yeah, this is going to be October 18th, 6 to 9, and the artist talk is at 7 o'clock, and we will have refreshments and stuff for kiddos if you guys want to bring kiddos. We've got chalk and drawing. I don't know, now I'm just like advertising to kids, but like it's true. Like
it's because I'm here.
No. But like I had a donor who was very who's amazing, who was just like, I want to do more to support. I just can't leave these kids at home. And so it's just, it's an important thing to say, I guess, also just as like a woman. And like, I mean, I don't have kids, but I can understand that, need to want to have, your life and what you want to do and bring them in. And sometimes they, can take from it. We have specifically like neighborhood kids. So this is very important to note, is we're in a very specific area. So we're on Montgomery Street, and we've got government subsidized housing right behind us. And so we do a lot of work with Tia, which is Through It All. It's an organization that she actually lives over there in government subsidized housing and brings people over to, have these community events, and, engage in that way. But we've got some kiddos that will just wander in, and they're the best. They're like that. Well, they asked if there's snacks, and if there's snacks, like I'll give them a snack. But then they'll just go up and like start just like asking all these wonderful questions about the artwork that we have, because it's just like stuff that they don't see. They just are just like, what is this weird thing on, on the wall or whatever. So we're very pro kiddo in this space.
And you have lots of parking, which makes it easier for young kiddos. I mean, this is one of the best areas of town. So there's no excuse not to come to these openings, because there's a parking lot out front. There's like street parking right here. This one's easy because it's a block off of Forsyth, not right on it.
Totally. Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing you've hung, or like the strangest, how do I say this better? There are two exhibitions in my life that I wanted to like pull my hair out as I was putting them on the wall. And the one,
why?
Oh my God. The one was Heather Young's back when the Mansion Gallery still existed.
Okay.
And it was all like a grid system.
Oh yeah, we love and hate. We love, it looks great. I literally did this the other day too. I did this when I rehung Anna's work for a special show. And I texted Anna and I was like, we're doing a grid again. And she goes, oh God.
So do you do all the math on your grids? Do you work it out on paper? See, I do too, and Carmen Aguirre does not.
Sure.
She's been around the block a few times, and so she'll just like smack stuff in the wall and be like, no, it goes there. And then like by the time...
I mean, I'll do a little bit of both.
I can't
this is
do
again,
that.
type A, type B.
I can't. I have to like get all the math out, and it looks like a crazy person.
Right.
I mean, I look like I have lost it. And then once I'd conquered Heather's massive grid system, like a year, maybe 2 later, I was just outside of that horrific grid long enough to be delusional to think I could do it again. But I had Fair did bees. And so instead of just being like a rectangular or like a square framed piece of art, right, they were octagons.
Okay. Oh.
So I created a beehive in a grid system of octagons.
Yeah.
I have never wanted to jump off of a roof more.
Sure.
So what's the strangest or the most memorable or like the worst thing you've had to hang in this room that like you'll lose sleep at night over?
Thing. This is so top of mind. This TV was actually really hard.
Not the art at all. The Samsung.
A little task rabbit and be like, hey, come get over here. It's so funny. We had, so the last show that we had was Marsha Mack and Jenny Lee. And Jenny Lee is a fantastic video artist. And so we got 2 monitors in here for her. And but she was not able to make it for install. So we were using Marsha and Marsha's partner to kind of install the work. Marsha knew her work. It was up in 5 seconds. We were like just chucking along. And then for some reason, this TV we had a lot of issues with it. And then it's funny to me because her partner was very like handyman dude, like, you know, somebody's dad, you know, or I mean, he is somebody's dad. But like he was just being like, you know, really stressed about it. And all 3 of us, like girls, like my assistant, me and Marsha were like, it's fine. And he's sitting there like, you know, pulling and tugging and moving and shuffling and stuff. And we're just like, it's fine. It's fine.
It looks great.
It's fine. And it's fine. But he was so funny. We were like on opening night, he was like, just don't tell anybody that I approved this. And I was like, we won't tell a soul.
So many people are here not to talk about the art, but to talk about the TV hanging and who approved this slant.
No, but I mean, but that's not like, that's just funny to me, but like maybe not to you guys. There's been a couple like very memorable ones, which I'm just gonna like speed run through. So Matthew Flores was here in January, and he did a monolith kind of piece on our side wall where he installed, I think it was, I can't remember how many, it was for the duration of his 6 weeks, one for every day, clipboard, and then he would fax me the image that he wanted me to chuck up on the clipboard.
That was cool.
That one, yeah, was amazing. And so we had an image at the final image at the end. That one was very memorable. We had a fountain in here at one point, which harkened back to the neighborhood kiddos that always come in. This is one of my favorite moments ever, is there's a little girl in the group, and she just immediately saw the fountain, and it's like a contemporary, it like had fur on it, and it was like, you know, like fur like surrounding it, and then the fountain was coming up, like bubbling up, and she just immediately like went and put her mouth on it and took a big old sip. Ooh. And like that was just like her first instinct. It was incredible. And then in that same that was Kevin Cow. And Kevin Cow in that same show built a shed, quote unquote, for his ceramic pieces. So he literally built a little house inside of the gallery. That was super memorable. Loved that. We did, grid systems with Anna Autumn while she was very pregnant. And she was in the middle of summer, very pregnant in the middle of summer. And there was one point where I literally had to tell her, I was like, put down the hammer. We need to walk away. Because that was very stressful.
I've been there. I sympathize. Yep, that hits home.
We've had, and this, I will not name names, but we've had a couple of pieces that were not either well packed or well made in terms of like they showed up very broken, or they were falling off the wall mid-show, and to no cause of our own. Like we did it how it was supposed to be, but it just, was like adhesive had fallen or something, like had pulled off. So sometimes that'll happen. Artists, God love them, are not like this is why I have an art handler pack all of the stuff, because it's something that I just don't ever want to risk.
Really? You don't pack your own stuff?
I don't pack it up. I unpack it myself and I install, luckily with the artist, so it's on them if it falls. But no, whenever I pack them, especially this last show, because it's all ceramic and glass.
That makes me nervous.
Yeah. Shout out to Nathaniel Thompson. Amazing artist and such a huge part of the community, even though he's very quiet and unassuming for many. The other day we were at an opening and we were at a Blue Boy opening, and Philip McClure was like, meet Nathaniel, he's the mayor of this community, because he just like, it's just like he does odd jobs for everybody. Like he packs all of my stuff and does a really good job with it. He photographs people, like he documents shows for people. He's just the best. He like has volunteered for me before. He does, he works like a job doing yard work, but also works at Right Square Vintage, selling vintage clothing. And like, so yeah, he's amazing. But yeah, this all to say, I don't do it myself. I always hire out for that because I don't want that to be
on your conscience.
Yeah.
Sure. Mm-hmm. All right. This is not a man that I know. All right.
Well, if we get you guys in the same room, I'll introduce you. Yeah. Very, very quiet guy, but very sweet. Yeah.
Oh. Love that. No, good for you. I am not a huge fan of packing. It's probably for the best that you hand it off to somebody with more experience.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, and I mean, we're halfway through that. He spent like 2.5 hours packing because it's glass work that has all these little danglies.
Oh, no.
And so he's packing up all the individual glass pieces before packing it up all together. Yeah, so, and he was just like very methodically doing it, which we love. But like around 2, it was like after his job, and I was like, I'm starving, so we need a pause, and you're gonna come back. So, but
love that.
It's in good hands. If any artists are listening, it's always in good hands.
Of course it is. Huh. I think that broke my brain. What were my next questions?
No. Can we talk about the Risograph subscription?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Absolutely. Cool. We can talk about anything you want. It's your show.
I'm just trying to plug as many things.
That's why I'm here. Yeah, plug.
So one of the streams of income that we launched this year to help our nonprofit and sustain our mission is a Risograph subscription, and it's super fun. Every time we have an artist in to show with us, we ask them to donate a design. We chuck that design over to our Risograph printer, Diane, who runs Ripe Ink Press out of Atlanta. She's absolutely incredible, does a really fantastic job. And we produce about 50 of them and sell them through the subscription service and also individually, and it's very affordable. So it's artwork that, subscription's $125 for 5 prints, and individuals $35 for 1 print, and it's original artwork that the artist has created for the show. So that's all to say, if you sign up for the subscription, basically what happens we're running out this 2025, so we're gonna kind of start to advertise it as a package deal if you want to buy something for the holidays and you have 5 people to get 4 and they're very different 5 people, but they love art or they just need something to refresh their space. Hey, come buy this bundle. But next year, we're going to be launching it in a similar way that we did at the beginning of this year, which is you pay for the subscription up front. And every time we open an exhibition, we ship you that print in the mail. It is a surprise because, it's fun that way that you can just on your doorstep, a new print. And then we mail it to you with a little binder, a little chic white binder clip. And you can essentially make your own evolving gallery wall with all the prints.
Very cool. What sizing are we talking? Like variety?
11 by 14.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So super reasonable. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody has space for that.
Mm-hmm. Except there's an 8.5 by 11 that was Matthew Flores because he has to be different. But otherwise it's 11 by 14.
It's like the perfect Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa,
1,000%.
gift.
Yeah. So we've got a couple left. So yeah, like I said, we'll definitely bring them to the fall fundraiser, and we'll bundle them up for everybody to kind of pick up their holiday bundle for their 5 gifts for people. But they're really fun. They're so fun and they're so different. So you're definitely going to be maybe loving one over the other, and that's totally fine. But it's always just a really fun kind of activity. So if you guys are interested, please look on our website. We're under Cleo Editions, and you can see all of the available work. So
how else do we pay you? So we can do the fall fundraiser.
Yes.
We can send money that way.
Yes.
We can do the art club, the print club.
Yes.
Then I have some membership. But
memberships.
Okay. Yeah. So some people pay you monthly and some people pay you annually?
Some people pay monthly, some people pay annually, and it's different benefits. It's very much we just want to say thank you for the most part. So it's newsletters, it's postcards in the mail that literally tell you what you've done to accomplish, this current exhibition. And it's the postcard with the artwork, the original artwork on there. It's discounts on Cleo editions. So if you're thinking that you want something, or that you want a membership with some additional benefits, then you'll get it with a subscription or a discount for a subscription for that Cleo editions. And then the other benefit is we have a quarterly studio visit for certain levels with local artists. And then the last one is tickets to the fall fundraiser if you're a big spender throughout the year, because we love you very much, the people that dive deep in their pockets. But yeah, so check out the memberships. And then what else? So I do really want to talk about this. This is very, very important to me, very top of mind. So federal funding for the arts and nonprofits in general is I'm going to say this as diplomatically as possible, because it's definitely inherently political, and it's a tough subject to reach, especially when you're in a room with people who either do or do not know what's happening. So in reality, it's being taken away. So federal funding, I can speak specifically for arts nonprofit, has been taken away, and that just means that all of the other grantees that came out of that, because that system of federal funding funded so many other organizations to go ahead and fund their region or their state or whatever, their city. And now that budget has been limited, it will continue to be limited over the next 3 years. And that means that people are asking for twice as much money from twice as many organizations. So I had a donor come in the other day and was talking to me, and was just I don't know, I've just been asked by so many people that this year's just been insane. And I was yeah, there's a reason for that. And so I just want to spread awareness. I want to spread awareness because like, I understand, like, this is an incredibly difficult time for people to, you know, buy groceries, you know, just live their lives. I think it's just tough, and there's just so much going on. But it's also the time that if we ever had to ask for our community support, it's now. Because when we, you know, we kind of always thought that grants were going to be there to kind of support the mission that we had, and we're just not getting them because, you know, we had a really lovely, and I'm going to shut this out because I really appreciated it. There's a foundation out in California called Wilhelm Foundation. It's a family foundation, and they like clockwork were, you know, had X amount of money that they would send out. And it was primarily California arts nonprofits, but they did occasionally outside of that. And so they were like, anybody who wants to apply, go ahead and apply. We applied this year. We kept getting it's delayed, like the decision. And then when the decision came out, we were not chosen. And there was this really helpful continuation to the email where they were talking about how last year they had maybe like 115 people apply. This year, almost 500 organizations applied. And they're like, we have decided to change our trajectory to double our allotment over the next 3 years to support arts organizations that continue to ask for money. But that means that the foundation's going to run out after that. So they're going to like burn bright, you know, like and burn out at the end of this cycle.
How honorable.
Isn't that crazy? I thought that was, and I'm obviously leaving out some language, because I don't think that needs to be the focus, but facts now, or, you know, whatever, this is facts, is that there are certain foundations that are seeing that there needs to be slack picked up, and they're doing it. So that was one of them that I thought was incredibly interesting. So, yeah.
Anyone with spare cash, send it to Cleo.
Please, yes, send it to Cleo, send it to Art Southeast. We are two organizations that are trying to do the most for Savannah art community. I mean, along with everybody else. I mean, Location Gallery, Laney Contemporary, SCAD Museum's incredible, Telfair. Like, we are a system that is supporting so much of the city's cultural imprint, and that includes, you know, resources for SCAD students, which is a major industry here, and as well as tourism, a resource for tourism, which, you know, employs so many people in the city. And so we're only here to help with those things. And so an investment in any of us is an investment in your city. So it's going to come back for sure. And the lovely thing about the way that we do it at Cleo is, you know, we've got an LA and a Chicago artist coming in who hadn't really ever considered showing in a smaller city like Savannah. And the fact that they're doing it, and they're going to go back and they're going to tell everybody in their community about the incredible experience that they had here with the city, with Cleo, with the art community, because I've seen it happen with every show that we've done to date. And so it's incredibly beneficial to invest that money back into your community now more than ever.
All right, plug the website, plug the Instagram, plug anything you want to plug.
Yeah, so Cleo, the Project Space on Instagram, cleotheprojectspace.org on our website. My name is Jeanette.
Wait a minute, how did you get in here?
Yeah, I moved here in 2019. Hold on, I'm gonna take a sip of water. Pause for effect. I moved here in 2019, right before 2020, like November 2019, and then was like, I'll just see if I like this city, and then COVID happened, and then
you were trapped here.
I was trapped, and then had always wanted to run a project, or had always wanted to start a project space, and so that's what I did, and have just been really stubborn in building it up to what it's been today. Kind of stuck my heels in and continued to kind of make sure that our mission and that our aesthetic and that our integrity and stuff stays the same. So yeah. But I was I was undergrad at MICA up in Baltimore. Was a sculpture major. People are very surprised when they hear this. I don't love making artwork. It was never my thing. Like I loved the parts where we were able to talk about it and we were able to form opinions about it. That was incredible for me. Critiques were incredible for me because I could just talk about the work and disagree or agree. And that's been incredibly beneficial to my role as a curator. And then moved around a bunch. I was a gallery assistant over in Melbourne, Australia for No One Special. It was a gallery that is no longer, but they were amazing. I'm run by Ben Jones, artist out there. And then I was over in Montreal after that. I was a bookbinder for an arts book studio called Antiism, and they're super incredible. We did that for a year and some change. And then I moved over to Italy to try to get a post-grad program in curatorial studies in Turin, Italy, and learned Italian for it, but did not get it. And that was the reason I had to come back to the States. Yeah. So.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So I bopped around for a bit. I did New York for a bit too, and that was not it. I love New York, but I just want to visit. I don't want to live there. So
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I tried it, as everybody should. But, or, if everybody could, then they should. So that's me in a nutshell.
Woo!
Yay!
Very cool.
Yeah. So
it's a lot of cool places. Look at you.
Yeah.
You think you'll stay in Savannah?
Yes. Because I love this city. As long as Savannah will have me. This is what I always say, is because Savannah is very fickle, and this has been the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life. Fundraising is not for a weak stomach or weak anybody. Working in arts there's no money at this job. It is for the love of the game, and it is a constant operation that you have to keep working at, and you have to, hone, I wear 50 hats, and I have to be good at all of them, and I'm good at 10 of them right now. I'm decent at, 15 or whatever. And I ask for help all the time. That's important to note. I wasn't doing that in the beginning. That was very stupid. It was just my mentality. Yeah, Savannah can be fickle. I think that there's definitely room for talking about burnout. I have talked to a lot of other nonprofit directors over the years that reached that year where they truly can't do anymore. And it's understandable. I haven't reached it yet. I'm not saying that I won't ever. There's definitely a part of me that knows that that's probably going to happen. Because it is so much work, and so much effort. But, yeah, I think
foreseeable future
for sure. Cause we've built up this community. And again, it's been a lot of hard work to build up this community. And so I wouldn't just leave it. People are always like, oh, you'll just move Cleo somewhere else. And I was like, it's not that easy. It's very hard.
Where did the name come from?
Again, people always ask me this. It's truly just a name that I loved. I was crunch time, trying to sign the papers for forming my LLC. And I was just Cleo maybe? But there's a couple different, there's Cleo 9 to 5. That's an Agnes Varda movie that I loved, ever since high school. Cleo is an alter ego, not an alter ego. That sounds so stupid. But as a kind of final resting place for the way that I feel about myself. So as an old woman who's a collector and they call her Cleo kind of thing. And then finally, as an entity to like complain about, it becomes a lot. It becomes a lot better to talk about Cleo as a daughter, like a phantom or like a physical daughter, and be like, Cleo always needs money. Like she always needs new shoes. She's always asking to rent the car. Like I do so much for this teenager who can be so loving and wonderful, and then can be such a brat sometimes. So that's another helpful kind of giving her a human name. Giving her a human name. Yeah. There you go.
Is there anything we haven't talked about you want to talk about?
No. I don't know. Oh, there's one. And there's one other thing I'll plug. So sneak peek is, so this is a very busy season for us. We've got, like I said, October 18th opening here at Cleo, November 9th, fall fundraiser over at Laney, and then November 20th will be the first time that we're doing a satellite space in New York.
Fun!
And it is going to be at Marmalade Williamsburg. It's up in Brooklyn, Williamsburg. And they're letting us have that front room to show some of my favorite New York artists that we've worked with in the past. And so it'll be a really fun moment. So if anybody is downloading from New York, please come by. Yeah, that's it. That's all.
I'm sure we can watch some of it on your Instagram now.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. We'll have my wonderful assistant, who I also need a shout out, who just started working for me, but she's been a game changer. It's Cameron White, and she is going to come up and take some photos for us, and then you guys will get to see it, even if you're not able to make it. So, yeah.
Love from afar.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. How does your board work? Because you're a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Do they vote? Do they like take turns running the space? This is irrelevant. I can cut this. I'm just curious.
No, you're curious. Yeah, sure. No, my board is very much lets me drive the ship. Yeah. So it's all women, which I'm very proud of. And women is specifically working in the art field. And it's been mostly them kind of helping me, like advise me. Like I needed a lot of hand holding when I first started out. And so I've got like, and a lot of mentoring, and I still do. I still call them pretty consistently to be like, I'm going to call one later today and be like, I have this moment, like, or I have like this problem. Can we work it out together? Yeah, it's Kate Hadley Toughness, who grant writer for the Block Museum out of Chicago, Northwestern University. So smart, so loving, love her very, very much. Farron Riley, she's changed her name. Farron Riley Fitzgerald, now she used to be Peterson, is an artist born and raised in Savannah and has always been a cheerleader since day one. She's been integral in the planning of the fall fundraiser. That's why our table looks like this, is because we have a meeting tonight. Yeah.
Cute.
With all of my committee members, yeah. And then Veronica Hogan, who was 10 years as the director of Laney Contemporary, the museum, was the reason that they went free admission, which is incredible. She's a force. Emily Amazales is Atlanta-based as well. She works for Purpose Possible as a grant writer and kind of advisor to smaller nonprofits to kind of strategize about how to keep their model sustainable. She's absolutely incredible. She's an artist as well. And who am I missing? Oh, Lauren Novotny Phillips, who is Savannah-based but used to be in New York. Was an art appraiser, now does, she does a lot of work with her husband on, they have a PR firm, and so she is my go-to gal for asking PR stuff for the gallery. So yeah.
Love it. Any additional shout-outs? That's your jam.
Those are the people that keep this going, for sure.
7 people in total for all of this programming, and mostly just you.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Well, you do a great job. The space is beautiful. I mean, especially for 400 square feet. I mean, just what you produce and like, it's just such a cool place for Savannah to have, and I'd hate for us to ever lose it. So people, hey.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, and all of it's really fun. I mean, like, you know, we try to make giving fun. So the subscription service, the fall fundraiser, that's all going to be fun stuff that you're going to enjoy. So yeah, participate.
Yeah. Just no water slides this time.
No water slides this time, but who knows? All right. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. Love talking about Cleo. And yeah, please, everybody, stay tuned. Check out our social media and our website for upcoming events.
Thanks for having me. I love being here.
Thank you.